Americans, what do you love most about America? We can make fun of the president and not get decapitated for it. This, for sure. Our country is in a sorry state right now, and I'm disappointed and embarrassed for how we must look to other countries. That being said, I have always had real faith in our institutions and our ability to persevere and push forward. I know one day this time period will be a sorry blip in our history, and we will have come out the other side for the better. I hope for you and the US and the world the same. I like that everything is standardized. For example, doorways are the same height everywhere. Road signs are the same everywhere. The ADA has made sure there are ramps everywhere. Chain restaurants and hotels make traveling very easy. When you do go to visit some unique and beautiful national park in the US, you can then go back to your standardized hotel room and get the rubber egg breakfast you were expecting. It makes for a very seamless existence. We have some random one-way streets downtown though that can be pretty unfortunate. We have some of the most extensive, if not the most extensive, temperate lowland coniferous forests in the world. Absolutely. Combined with the national parks system, we have some of the greatest natural spaces within our country. For now. Why? My love for America, of course. The fact that you don't have to leave the country to experience a totally different atmosphere. I mean that literally and figuratively. I can go to a tropical beach, or a desert, or a snowy peaked mountain, or an icy tundra, or a temperate forest without going through customs. The culture of America is also really nuanced. New Orleans culture is totally different from New York's, and they're both totally different from that of Seattle. I'm from Arizona and currently live in Seattle. I just visited New Orleans. Frequently visit family in California, and went to see my sister in Austin in December. Every single place has been wholly unique, with its own food, culture, scenery, and atmosphere. It's a beautiful thing, and one of the things that I love most about this country. People shit on Americans for not traveling outside the country much, but we're pretty far from other countries and it's expensive. And we can get so many unique experiences traveling here. Of course I want to travel abroad, but I'm not going to hold back on my domestic trips either. I can get something new every time. IDK, the weather is pretty nice. Hard to generalize about America's weather, since we are literally the size of an entire continent. December in Hawaii is nothing like December in Chicago. The diversity. I can find so many cultures in one place. It's honestly why America continues to keep being so great. That's why I hate when people call us racist, when we are literally the most diverse country in the world. There is racism in every country in the world where there is any minorities. It's getting better with every generation, so hopefully one day racism will be a concept that people just won't understand because it won't exist. Honestly, after traveling to many different countries, I've come to the conclusion that there's really only one reason that I love America as much as I do. And why? Almost everyone absolutely loves their native countries compared to others. It's my home. I was born and raised there. It's familiar and comfortable to me, and that's why I love it. Demolition Ranch / Vet Ranch. Literally the most American channel. The dude shot a 50 BMG into a shit ton of fireworks on the 4th of July. I sure love our Bill of Rights. NASA. SpaceX. Guns. It's pretty ducking big. A little over a decade ago I was volunteering at this children's hospital and I wound up talking to this lady whose child was a patient there, and she was talking about her son's ailments and how it was going, and at the same time she was writing a check out to the hospital. Now, her kid was several $100,000 into treatment, but here she was writing out a check for $20 or something like that, and I asked why she was doing so, and she said if not me, then who? It's messed up on so many levels. But she was donating to the charity hospital that was saving her kid, and her donation was a tiny drop in the bucket, but she still felt compelled to write that check. That's amazing. And sad. And I think it speaks to the fundamental goodness of Americans. She was way over her head financially, but she thought that she still had to contribute. If we could somehow harness that from people of more adequate means, we could change things. Organizations like Street Jude should be how other countries view America. Millions of Americans donating to an organization that works hard to help children with their many medical issues, and they don't ask a single penny from the affected families. Optimism. I think American optimism is one of our greatest cultural assets. That I can buy survival gear, several guns, a huge machete, a toilet plunger, girls size XS 5 to 7 pink pony underwear, a donut, cigarettes, hair dye, a fridge, a couch, get an eye exam, get medicine, get a loan, cash my paycheck, donate to charity, eat a sub sandwich, do my taxes, sit next to a life-size statue of Ronald Murder King McDonald, and pay my phone bill all in one building. Not to even mention getting my car maintained, buy new shoes, and buy UGIO cards. Our poor are still much better off than most of the world's population. An obesity problem is probably the worst problem to have. That you can have such easy access to large amounts of food that not only will you not go hungry, but you'll eat enough to damage your health. And there's still large stores packed to the roof with food, despite all the consumption. America is absolutely, stunningly beautiful. People, for the most part, are kind, friendly, and care about each other. Folks from other countries are sneaking across our borders trying to get to America, the land of opportunity, wanting all the blessings that we were fortunate enough to be born with. Blessed. Oh, and did I mention that America is stunningly gorgeous? Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon, the Great Smoky Mountains, Florida beaches, the Pacific Northwest, Niagara Falls, Hawaii and Alaska, and we also have Disneyland and Disney World. Blessed indeed. The opportunity for anyone with an open mind, integrity and ambition to achieve their potential. You see integrity as a benefit, even in this environment. Anyone that finds being honest and true to your convictions as an on-benefit should have probably ended up a stain on the mattress. That freedom only costs $1.05. I genuinely loved the way we embraced being a melting pot and an experiment in always trying to build a more ideal nation that others would want to be part of. I hope we can get back there again. Burritos are the best part of the US. Freedom. I like the food. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. That's what I was looking for. #CLAP. I'm not from there, but I lived there for a while. 10/10ths with Texas again. Texarkana is neither Texas or Arkansas. We try not to talk about it. Freedom of speech. Cutting edge science and technology. A preponderance of the best universities in the world. As expensive as they may be. The world's two largest air forces. NASA and a space force I guess. Close bracket. The right to defend oneself. Family and home. Varies a bit by state. The Oxford comma. See last line. Some of the most diverse natural landscapes and human cultures on the planet. A pretty robust democracy. General lack of corruption. And respect for rule of law. The interstate highway system. Relatively low gas prices and taxes. Don't get me wrong. The USA still and always will have its issues. Those issues will vary from person to person. What's a huge concern to me may not be to you. And vice versa. What I love is that I can be myself. I'm a lesbian who works in law enforcement. There's still some struggles among the LGBTQ+ community, but I can freely be me. Our state and national parks. America really is beautiful. Of course it is. Freedom. The First Amendment and the Second Amendment. I commented in the other thread about the numerous things that are frustrating, but there are many things that are great. One thing that stands out is the sheer beauty of this place. When we think of places to visit that look amazing, there are many exotic and international options. But I've been a lot of places in the US and there are some extremely incredible looking places in America. Cities with awesome buildings or creations. Forest/parks/mountain ranges that look beautiful. And even tons of different cultures in all these places that represent different things. It's great to be able to see and do so much all in this country. This is where shit happens. And I want to be where shit happens. Like it or not. Right now, America is the leader in global culture and technology. The rest of the world reads our news and listens to our music and watches our movies and etc etc. In California, you can surf and snowboard in the same day. Even the most challenged individual can achieve their dream of being a world leader. It's an inspiration for below average children everywhere. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Glad you're able to have some inspiration. The freedoms that are granted to me as a citizen that so many have grown to hate. Why must you bring hate into a thread of love? Fried butter and freedom. America, of course. But in all seriousness, I've never been to another country. But I've never questioned my love for the USA. The opportunities here are amazing. And I can't think of a country I would rather live in. Freedom. Food and water is plenty. Copy paste from another thread. The variety of nature and our park system. We're far more forgiving of failure than other cultures around the world. We love flawed people and comeback stories. We encourage more risk taking and stepping off the beaten path than other cultures. That contributes to a robust entrepreneurial spirit and creative arts hub. It doesn't take long to get away from civilization. If you want to live off the grid, you can. At least in my region, the genuine warmth and friendliness of strangers. No matter what it is, you can find it somewhere. But lastly, my country is like my parent. I love it inherently, warts and all. The general freedom. You might be horribly scrutinized for it, but you can relatively say /where/internet search/ go where you'd like. Honestly, the people. I like being left alone in my own property where nothing happens, and I can go shooting or hunting whenever I want without hurting anyone. But the moment something bad happens, everyone helps one another, and they go through pretty great lengths to make it happen. Like during Hurricane Harvey. Had people drive 8 hours just to help one another. Barely any rest, or sleep, or breaks. Brought clothes. Made food all the time. Brought toys for kids. Used their own cars or even boats to help everyone. It was just, I don't know, made me feel good. Always trying to help. Always. Almost made me shed a tear, if I'm being honest. Sounds so cliche, but it's true. I just honestly owe everything to this country and its people. I was born here, but my parents moved here legally over 23 years ago, owned almost nothing, and managed to make a good life for themselves here. Lol, is this in response to everyone hating on America? Well, I love our entrepreneurial spirit. Freedom. The many different unique cultures. Each state is like its own country, so if you don't like where you're living, you can go somewhere else, and it'll be totally different. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.